because like that's how it is when it's like over the top. I think that could be funny. My problem is the like misunderstand. It doesn't understand the tone it wants to go for with the violence.
No,
like it wants to have these scenes where it's like, oh yeah, this person's dead. This is and their brains are cut out. This is serious. But like then there's a scene where like Fred cuts off like he throws a disc and it like cuts off a kid's leg and people cheer and it's supposed to be this funny moment and you're just like, what?
Pick a fucking
yeah, no, it's like it's literally just pick a lane with like how do you want to treat this tone? How do you want to treat violence in the show? Because like there is a consistency that needs to be had with your tones, so it makes it feel more appropriate when used in these certain scenes. Like, do you want the violence to be funny or do you want it to be serious? Like, what is it? What the fuck is it?
Make a choice.
That would yeah, basically, yeah, basically, yeah. So it's just like it doesn't understand the tone it wants to go for that. And the other funny thing is like the show, like
you keep cutting out really bad, Russ.
I don't think it was like the showrunners. I think it was like HBO who was like, oh yeah, you can't use Scooby because it. Really? Is this better? Hello,
yeah,
hello.
No,
really?
It's fine. You keep going. It's okay. You said HBO can't use Scooby.
Yeah, HBO said they couldn't use Scooby, or not HBO, but you know Warner Bros. Or Warner Plus Discovery or whatever the fuck it is now. So the business is so fucked right now. I hate.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it's a whole other conversation. But they didn't want to use Scooby because they were like, oh, it's an adult show, so Scooby's too goofy for that. You know, he's gonna be too goofy. And the thing is, every joke in the show,
boomers don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, and the thing is, the entire show, Goofy would make the most sense in most of the jokes they make. You know, like Goofy would just make the most sense with the tone they go for in this show. Like it's clearly like an outlandish comedy. Like it wants to be an outlandish comedy, and they can't have a talking dog in it. Like it's just fucking weird. And watching the show, sometimes you can like almost forget, especially when
and then you see what they do to insert quote unquote Scooby.
Yeah, and the thing is, oh yeah, isn't it like a girlfriend now or something?
Yeah, it's Normal's girlfriend. They do food reviews together.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that he's fucking Scooby now. It's really great. I love
And it's like
I love this. He's fucking Scooby. The thing is about Norville, and I think it's like obviously it's the race swap. Like because of the character designs, most of the character designs, you can remember you're watching a Scooby-Doo show. You know what I mean? Like when you look at Velma's design, that's Velma. When you look at Daphne, that's Daphne. When you look at Fred, that's Fred. You know, but with with Norville's design, he's just not Shaggy, and you always like I forget that you're like whenever he's on the screen and it's just him being the character, you're gonna forget immediately. Like if none of the other characters are on there, you're gonna forget immediately you're watching a Scooby-Doo show. You're gonna be thinking you're watching something else entirely. Like it's so weird. I remember seeing Zoinks, Jinkies, and Mystery Machine when they were drugging. Wait, wasn't that was kind of cute. Not that good. Again, there are stuff I do like about the show, and I think I've talked about some of them, but I don't know. Overall, it's a pretty bad show. I think episode 4 felt like almost a step in the right direction, but I think it just feels way too held back on like its own politics or something. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what politics are. Like, what are the politics it's even going for? Because it tries to go for feminist ideology, but then it just does this like weird pervert shit with it. Like, it's clearly wanting to be a feminist show, but it's also like being really perverted with like the way they treat teenagers in that show, and right. I don't like that at all.
Like, sexual liberation is an aspect of feminism.
Yeah, but like when you're writing a show about
40 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
But
like when you're writing a show about teenagers, like I think there's even a way to write like a show about teenagers with sexual liberation without like, you know, having to just sexualize the children in that way, you know? Like I think there's like better. There's way better ways to do that. It's
There
just
are, but they're not going to do it because
yeah.
this is it's a soulless cash grab. And you want to know why it was as successful as it was?
Why?
Because there is no more animation on HBO Max. So
No, there's still animation.
So the only
there's
thing
just
that's
no
available,
new. I thought they kept some cartoons on there, didn't they?
like some,
It's just
but it's like the
yeah.
first new animation. And
Yeah, that's the problem. They don't have any new. They're not going to make new cartoons. And it's sorry, keep talking. I keep interrupting you.
You're good. And plus I think like due to like some tech issues on like with Discord, like every time I try to interject, like you don't hear it until like 5 seconds afterwards.
That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like save some of the images while you talk, so I can show them off.
You're good.
Because okay.
I also figured out my audio thing. While I missed the first 20 minutes of our conversation, it's whatever. So it's like I think for me my biggest hang up is Shaggy, because Shaggy was my absolute favorite fucking character from any piece of Scooby-Doo franchise of the Scooby-Doo franchise, and Shaggy to me is all I think like the biggest sin for me is the fact that he is not like Norville with his behavior and in his art design. It's not Shaggy. Like Shaggy is an allegory for fucking stoner life, hippie life, and to another extent left wing politics.
Is he? I guess he. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, because like hippies were basically that. Stoner.
Shaggy and Scooby are the kindest, least judged. Like Shaggy and Scooby grew up around black folk, and the reason I can say that comfortably is because, listen, Daphne, Velma, and Fred all do like the white people shit of, oh, there's some spooky shit going on. Let's investigate it.
Yeah.
Scooby and Shaggy were like, yeah, fuck that. No.
Yeah, there was a really good redesign someone did of Norville on Twitter that would have captured the original Shaggy.
Dozens. I'll show you dozens of good redesigns on Twitter. And I'd probably say the ones you're talking about. Like they're I my girlfriend is I told my girlfriend about the Velma stuff last night, and she was like. And some of the criticism she thought probably probably a solid gut feeling that like right wingers were like shitting on like diversity in a show, Yeah, that's all they're talking about. They only think the show's bad because it's woke, even though it's like not at all that woke. It's really bad. Jeff Dunham tier humor.
Yeah, basically, it literally made the. I speak facts without a filter, just like comedians before #MeToo. Like it literally made that joke, and it's like,
gross.
Yeah, this is not at all fucking woke. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? It's so bad. I'll send you the recording, by the way, after this.
You're good. I've got my own recording going.
Oh fuck yeah.
It's not perfect, but whatever.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Besides, if people on my end want to see the whole entire thing, I'll just direct them to your channel.
Yeah, like people saying the show's bad because of the race swapping. People saying it's bad because of like trying to be woke. That's not at all what's wrong with the show.
What's wrong with it is that they've sucked the soul out of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I'm like I guess I'm conflicted about being angry about that part because it's like I don't know, reinterpretations are done all the time. It's just like when you have like a reason for it, or like not even just like a reason, just like I think I'm just annoyed because it's not a good show. Like I think that's what I'm mad about.
And here's
the thing. It doesn't feel like a Scooby-Doo show. That's my major issue.
Right. And here's my big thing about it is when you think about it, at the end of the day, just to focus on the right wingers being mad about the race swapping. Like I genuinely think that ethnicity, with fictional characters has if what race they are doesn't inform their personality, archetype, and character type, I think it's irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
So it's like for example, unless they're trying unless they're trying to change aspects of the personality in a way that is like still that is interesting and new, but also doesn't actually hinder the core of those characters, I think it's fine. Like, for example, if like Shaggy becoming a black character actually is completely okay. In fact, I would argue that adding an element of blackness to Shaggy's character could allow him to lean into that skeptical, more self-preservationist, and also just feed into that archetype of being a hippie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And talking about like being conscious. Like if they had made Norville like a dreaded stoner that's very conscious and shit, and like listens to like fucking J. Cole and shit, like I think it would have been perfectly fine. The problem is that they turned him into a fucking white Republican. A black Republican, I mean to say.
Honestly, I could see this version of Shaggy being a Republican, actually.
Like it's like
yeah, keep going.
So for me, it's just like I genuinely think like an example of where like maybe the race swapping certainly wouldn't make sense is Fred.
Oh wait, I need to get off right now.
You have to get off.
Yeah, I have to get off soon. Could we call later about this at some point?
Possibly. I'm just getting my ass beat by God.
It is, but no, it is confused. I will agree with you. It's a very confused show. I don't think it. I think maybe that could due to it just starting, but honestly, I think it's like a show that feels like.
It feels to me like
it has a weird identity crisis. Anyway, thanks for.
No, I just want to say this last thing. It makes me feel. It reminds me of like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Like it's not like the people who are working on it very well might care about it, but the writers' room just does not give a fuck.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta go. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm doing phone banking in like 4 minutes ago. Like 4 minutes ago.
Go run. I go run. I've had a long day. I wasn't feeling up.
I'll explain. So. I'll talk more about this later at some point. But yeah, we'll see you later, dude.
See you later.
Bye. Okay, that was fun. I don't know if I'm gonna stop streaming yet. I think I'll probably should stop. Wait, what?
You could just do you could just do a silent stream. I'm gonna probably after I get off the call with you.
Fuck! I thought I got off with you. Holy shit! Sorry. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So now that Rusty's gone, I wanted to at least take a second to at least talk about a couple other things. I think I want to be clear that Velma is getting dunked on by people because it's bad media, not because of because of the poor writing. I think this is just a prime example, and when I was talking about the Jodie Whittaker bit, I think this is just a prime example of just a writer's room not caring about the source material. An equivalent could be the difference between whoever the fuck made the Star Wars sequel trilogy and whoever and like Jon Favreau building the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, Andor, Obi-Wan, like all of these really, really great things, and the kind of the result of dealing with these types of things is just deeply unfortunate that a subject matter that definitely could, I think making bringing like racialized elements into it and changing the races of the characters absolutely could have worked if it was done in a non-slapdash way. I don't know why they decided to make Shaggy like not Shaggy. It just feels like all of the characters aren't what you'd expect. Like Daphne is, kind of like, I've always felt like Fred was always just kind of like a big old dumb himbo, you know, who just liked doing stuff and was oblivious, and then probably liked Daphne at least a little bit, but not as much as he liked Papers and stuff like that. Velma is generally the mom of the group, things of that nature. You know, Daphne is kind of like a Wilf. What was it called? Willful incompetence or whatever of a you know, she plays stupid, but like when push comes to shove, like she shows that she's fucking incredible. Like her character in What's New Scooby-Doo is like a good example of that. You know, it's just, you know, and even then my summation of the characters might not even be correct, but broadly speaking, like, these are characters that 3 generations of people have grown up with. The franchise is 60 years old, and we you know, people have their gripes about like the different, you know, forms of media of that the iterations have taken place in, and it just doesn't make sense. I just don't understand how fucking bad, like, you can misunderstand those characters. Like, everybody has been exposed to like some type of Scooby-Doo stuff at some point in their life, and the fact that, like, you know, you just have this really, I would say, unacceptable, you know, iteration of these characters, it almost just feels like they just are going for the it almost feels like they're going directly for the what's it called? It almost feels like they're going directly for like the outrage marketing bit, where they're deliberately making it a shit product for the purposes of just getting outrage marketing. You know, it's like I just don't understand how this happened. It probably is, you know what it probably was? It probably was, this show is probably the result of, you know, a bunch of like focus group testing and a bunch of fucking executives and media people focus group testing and just handing it off to people who say, oh, this is, you know, like, we get brownie points and shit like that for doing it this way. I don't know. I just think that TERFs probably shouldn't be in charge of making content, because that's part of the reason why I don't enjoy Harry Potter the same way I used to. That's not really right there. I don't know, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the flip. Have a good one.
Quack.